ashes burn in the stone, and night it's our turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What's up, Star Wars Unlimited fans? It's Loopy here at Late Night Gaming, and we are here for round 3 of the Set 3 show match. And I am joined with by Jeff from Bothan Network. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Loopy?
Good. And as we enter this match, and we have the standings up right now for everybody, we are doing a show match, and we're doing it by game wins. Bothan Network has won 3 games going into the 3rd round. Maclunky is won 2. And this is actually Late Night Gaming's first match.
Yeah, it's exciting how close it is after 2 rounds. Excited to see Late Night get the opportunity to get on the board.
Yeah, we'll see.
So yeah, it's nice how close it's been so far.
All right, so the matchup we have first Dark from Maclunky Gaming piloting Count Dooku Blue. So what do you think about this list, Jeff?
I like it a lot. There's a few really interesting things that caught my eye. One is the full play set of Count Dooku's from set 1, because he is a separatist, even though that was before we knew separatist was going to be a valuable keyword. So you can exploit him out. I'm really interested how the calculating mana guard, the 3/4, when played or when a friendly unit is defeated, he gains Sentinel. So he should just be a Sentinel most of the time. And I'm excited to see how the space plays out versus the Anakin deck.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I've played some Bluku myself, as I like to call it, and playing Count Dooku for 5 gets addicting. I mean, that's
It's the interesting omission that I thought was one of the things that I really like in Bluku is the 5 mana 3/5 grit spaceship that when played defeats a unit with 2 or less remaining health. I'm interested that that's omitted, because playing that for 3 feels really good. So I'm curious how it's going to go with the starfighters instead, and some of the other choices.
And then as he moves up, I mean, we see the top end, 3 of the spider droids, which is interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
I like the spider droid a lot.
Not a vehicle. I cloned one in a pre-release, which is interesting.
Yeah, the spider droid's really good. When we get to the Anakin list, it's curious how much Anakin is going to respect the things like the gore and the malevolence, because how much time do you spend attacking base versus taking out the exploit fodder?
Right, and I think malevolence is right up there for the best cards in the deck. I mean,
absolutely.
The dream is
malevolence has been amazing. It's a huge body. It's got restore. It blanks something when it plays. It can hit leaders. Malevolence has been really good so far, in my opinion.
Right, and then gore has kind of keyword soup.
Exactly.
As a 12 drop, but with exploits. So I mean, you're almost never playing it there. All right, and then
he can come down for as cheap as 6 or even 4 if you have 4 units and a Dooku activation, because gore is a separatist as well. So I think more reasonably it can come out for 8, but we'll see if he gets droid manufacturing up and going and gets a gore down for 6. It could be a bad time for Anakin.
Yep, and I'm really excited to see Bluku in action in a competitive match. And then we have
definitely
Solo's Anakin list, who's been working on quite a bit. What are your thoughts on this?
This is a really, really cool list. I like Anakin a lot as a leader, and some of the things that jumped out to me, Bravado is really nice with Anakin when he gets really big for some surprise damage. I really like Soldier of the 501st as in an aggro deck. When you're attacking, he's a 1 mana 2/3, which is really, really effective. Really helps turn on the things like the Coruscant Guard's Coordinate, and then phase 2 Clone Trooper. He's got a lot of ambush in here, which could help control the droid problem.
And you don't get it. I mean, you have ECL 3 timelies, and then
I think my guess is that his plan is to use ambush to control the exploit units, and then uses readied units to attack the base. So I'm really curious how that's going to work out, and how much exploiting we're going to see versus how much just droid massacring we're going to see with ambush.
And then we have Ayla Secura, which I think she's pretty good for 5. I mean, particularly.
Yeah, definitely. She's got solid stats, especially if you're trying to be aggressive. And when you ambush her in and can prevent all damage, it just feels like a slightly better Han unit when you have that exact scenario going. So hopefully we'll get to see that.
Yep. So
One interesting thought is that he's running 3 Anakin's interceptors and none of the Green Squadron A-Wing. I think which of those you want to play can be an interesting deck choice decision.
yeah, and I can tell you, and I would expect, you know, from some playtesting, Solo's a guy that kind of likes to live on the edge, and you'll see that probably as we go forward. So, all right, so let's get to the match, and we have on the right side Solo G with Anakin. He actually pulled a natural Anakin showcase. Showcase Solo has pulled 3 showcases already.
Oh wow, that's 3 more than I pulled.
Right. And hopefully they'll do the initiative roll pretty soon here. And then we have Dooku on, what is it called? Crystal City? The new Christophsis space?
Yes, the Crystal City from Christophsis. Even though he's not playing the invasion of Christophsis, so slight flavor fail.
Yeah, that's an interesting card. I actually just reslotted it into my Dooku deck.
Yeah.
Is what I did. But
It's an interesting one. I think it's interesting too, the fact that he doesn't have it, and exactly like a PQ top cut, the players exchange deck list directly before this match. So Solo knows that he's not playing against invasion, so that may affect his decision to kill droids specifically on or around, you know, the beginning of that late game where he knows that there's not a board wipe coming unless it's overwhelming barrage.
And it looks like Dark is going to start with initiative. Solo's going to be on the back foot, and both draw their cards. I saw a fist bump virtually to start, which is kind of a cool ShowMatch tradition that's happening here.
Yeah.
And away we go.
We've got a double keep, so no mulligans, which is nice.
Yep. And both of these are accomplished players. I know Solo made top 4 and was undefeated in Swiss in the Florida PQ recently.
Yeah, and the Florida PQ is possibly the hardest PQ out there. There are a lot of good players in that area, and that's a tough region to get anything in. So get top 4 at that PQ is a huge accomplishment.
Right. And then Dark is a member of Maclunky Gaming. They're from around New York, and they just dominated the East Coast with their planetaries.
Yeah, he was telling me he was the first person to bring out Boba Yellow in set 2 at the Baltimore 1K or SCG Open. I forget the term, but early in set 2 he was bringing out Boba Yellow.
All right, so we have a wartime official playing into the ground arena for Dark, and then
it got bountied with the bounty hunters quarry. Which that's also another interesting addition. I think it goes well with all the ambush that Anakin has.
Right.
That it just helps him feed the units and get the right units in.
Right, and that's a hyperspace clone deserter, is what that is.
Ooh.
For Solo there.
Yeah, another benefit of a lot of the 1-drops he has for Anakin, whether it's the clone deserter or the soldier, the 501st, is these double turn 1 plays of bounty hunters quarry plus 1-drop or double 1-drop.
Yep.
That both can really help.
Yeah, no, he wants to flood the board. He wants to get coordinate on, you know, for ECL. And then also, I mean, don't forget that Anakin has his ability to trade up. So he can kill that wartime official right now with the clone deserter by putting 2 damage on his base, which then makes his leader stronger.
Yeah, this is where I'm really interested in Anakin's decision making here, because the Dooku player already wants to sacrifice his unit, but it also has the bounty. So now he's got to think about how much he wants to give up for that. Ooh, we're going with an ambush into the clone trooper.
Yep. So that's that droid commando card, I think.
Yeah, that card's been really good in any deck that wants to make battle droid tokens, because it's so easy to just have a separatist unit lying around.
All right, and then we have Batch Brothers.
Oh, I love the Bash Brothers. I was trying to figure out what card. Yeah, I love the Bash Brothers. Just another, especially with coordinate, another way to get 2 units out.
All right, so both players have been vying for control of the ground arena as we go into turn 3, because I imagine we'll have a claim and a pass here soon. We have a wartime trade official, which is a 1/3 with a when defeated to make a battle droid, and then an undamaged droid commando, which is a 4. Oh no, excuse me, it's damage.
It has damage. We should have 1 damage on it.
Yep, and then he has a clone on Solo's side. The wartime trade official has his bounty hunter's quarrying on it, which represents another 3-drop. Usually, I think that there's plenty of low cards in Solo's deck to actually be able to hit that reliably, based on the
Yeah, absolutely. Another card I'm interested if we'll see is that Solo is playing 2 copies of Jesse, Hard Fighting Patriot. It's a 3-mana 4/4 with raid 1, which is well above rate. But when played, you give your opponent 2 Battle Droid tokens, and giving a Dooku deck 2 Battle Droid tokens is a severe cost.
Yep. And
So I'm curious if that'll end up coming into play at all in this series.
Yep, and we have 4 resources here too, so he might have Shakti, which would be pretty good
Yeah.
right now. I can actually display some of these cards for the people too. Haven't done that yet. He's gonna take his bounty, I think. Or is he killing the big guy? No, he's
Not taking the bounty, killing the larger unit, which might indicate that he does have the Shock T and doesn't want it to just die to that attack.
Right, I think so too. The clone is a acceptable sacrifice.
Yeah, and he could still, if he wanted to, just ECL in the Shock T, kill the official, get his bounty and the Shock T and the Wind Plate, and he just has Coordinate on already.
I feel like I sound like Thrawn saying that stuff. The losses are acceptable of that clone trooper.
Exactly. The clone trooper died for the cause.
Yeah, and I think that here, ECL, I can tell you, was a switch. He went back and forth on it, making the deck. But right now, it's got to be given Dark Heartburn.
Yeah, exactly. It's just such a threat. And especially if you're not being an aggressive deck, where the 5 health might not matter as much. Just having that up, anything you play, you just know it might get taken down for free.
All right, so we
have a game.
First damage of the match. Dark puts a damage on Solo's base.
Yeah, first blood drawn by Bluku. I wonder if Solo is worried about a second of the ambush unit, because even if he ambushes Shock T into this, the when defeated creates another separatist unit, so he would have ambush again if he had a second version of the droid commando, a second copy of the droid commando.
Yeah, the battle droids have separatist droid trooper, I believe, as their 3 tags.
Yes.
All right, 4 damage. What are we gonna get? Is it Shakti? I mean, I think if you have her, you play right now with ECL. Oh no, he's just a timely from hand, and is that a Bash Brother?
It looks like it is a Bash Brother. Yeah, so it's another Bash Brother. So now he gets the clone trooper, and he would get the bounty resolved.
So he gets a clone trooper, and then now he gets to do bounty hunter's quarry. Wartime official is not unique, so he's going to have a very small pool.
His deck is 37 units, and most of them fit the criteria. So even with 3, it would be fairly unlucky for him to miss, even with the fewer looks.
And bounty hunter's quarry, I mean, it's a great value card. It actually adds the same value that now there are 2 of them does with 2, at a loss of tempo, really. Loss of tempo on a card, and that's, I think, an Anakin.
Got the Anakin's Interceptor off of it.
Yep, so Anakin's Interceptor is an interesting card. When there's 15 damage on the base, it becomes a 4/3. Right now, it's a 2/3.
Yeah. One of the nice things about that in general is with Anakin, if you have it as a 4/3, then you can use Anakin and have your 2-drop just trade into a Fire Spray, because it'll attack for 6 damage into a unit with Anakin activation.
And he plays a Battle Droid Escort, I think is the name of that card.
Oh, there's a lot of droids.
Yeah, we can see Malevolence next turn.
Yeah, we could see Malevolence this turn. He's set up to potentially play a Gore next turn with some of the recursion on the troopers too.
And one thing red green, does lack somewhat, and it's not. This is a good way to do 1 damage to everything. Doesn't have clear the field. Doesn't have the disruptive blast.
Yep.
It does have a lot of big units, and coordinate is active. So, I mean, something like Ayla could come in with.
Yeah, Ayla could come down for sure. But yeah, it's interesting. He doesn't have the best way to stop the Dooku deck from going wide outside of ambush.
So I'm interested to see what he does. He kills a battle droid.
Yeah, attacking a droid. I like that a lot. There's a lot of tokens going on the Dooku side, and you've got to try to get that under control, I think.
Yep. Still can see malevolence.
Yeah.
So
Or we could see Dooku unit.
yeah, it's probably Dooku unit because he tapped Dooku. He wouldn't have to tap for malevolence.
Yeah, absolutely. Dooku unit still has 2 droids for next turn.
And he's gonna hit the space arena, I bet. Yep.
I would imagine so. And now here's where we might get an insight into his hand as to whether he wants to use this droid to take out the clone trooper or to keep it around for further exploit fodder.
All right, so he plays a clone deserter.
Mm-hmm.
Just reminding myself as to Solo's list whether he has any saboteur. Yeah, I don't think so. So he's gonna have to deal.
Yeah, I don't
with
see any he has Kit Fisto for
Kit
saboteur.
Fisto. Yep, he does have Kit.
So yes, he does have some saboteur that could defeat the shield. But that's at 6, so can't play it until next turn. So, but could ECL it in next turn if he has it.
I mean, I think Kit Fisto is exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And they've gone to the next turn. They've gone to the next turn. Solo does not have much for follow up to use all of the resources.
Notably, right now, if he ECLs in Kit Fisto, he will not have coordinate. So he wouldn't be able to take the droid out for free with the on attack.
And then Wrecker can also deal with Dooku.
Yes, Wrecker is another one.
And this is Anakin's flip turn. Dooku has not ramped, so he will not be able to answer with his leader until next turn.
Yeah, Wrecker would be really awkward because it would prevent him from flipping Anakin, which you obviously want to do. But this is one of the downsides of coordinate, where if you had coordinate and could ECL in a Kit Fisto, it would clean up everything very nicely. But you don't want to flip first and give Dooku a chance to kill your leader, and you can't ECL in a Wrecker. So it's the Dooku's player has done a really good job controlling the board, turning off coordinate, even with ECL hanging there, looming.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And I mean, there must have been some tough draws going on with there now. So we're gonna see ECL.
Yeah.
That is a Bobby Sapphire stream dice, is what that is. I didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
Those. So shout out to those guys in KTOD.
Yeah.
That's who made those. That is Wrecker.
That is the Wrecker.
So he's choosing to delay his Anakin deploy
Mm-hmm.
and kill Dooku with 3.
Kill the Dooku.
So.
I think this is a desperate times call for desperate measures kind of thing. Obviously, you want to flip your Anakin, but flipping him into Dooku sitting there is just not helpful. Because he runs 3 overwhelming barrages in Dooku and just a lot of ways to potentially get that damage in, and you really don't want your Anakin to die right away.
Right, and I mean, also, Malevolence is off again. That ship is sailed, so to say.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He could play a spider droid. Would probably be the best answer.
Well, the Wrecker just has 1 health left. You could also just attack the battle droid into it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But if you don't do that now, then the clone deserter gets to clean up the battle droid. So, unless you're doing something else that would kill the deserter or playing a sentinel.
Droid commando. Interesting. Probably to kill.
Ooh, I like this a lot. Ambush into the clone deserter and then use the battle droid to finish off the Wrecker. That's really heads up play. And Dooku seems really far ahead right now. Yeah. Anakin can get back into the game for sure, but these have been some really good Dooku lines.
Yeah, and I think that battle droid core horde, it seems bad, but it's not. That's a good card.
I like it a lot. It's so easy in these exploit type lists, whether it's Grievous, Dooku, whoever, where you're trying to make a bunch of droids. It's so easy to just have separatist units lying around, and a 4/3 ambush is really nice.
Yep. I try to look at the Dooku list, see if he cut droid deployment too. If he has it still.
Yeah, he has the full play set of droid deployment.
Yeah, which is actually one I moved away from, just because the other options seemed better to me.
I think it depends. I think if you're trying to run gore, then you want droid deployment. It just depends how much of exploit 2+ you want to have, and with Dooku, I think you want to try to have a decent bit of it, whether it's an exploit 1 that you turn into an exploit 2, or however that works out. I think droid deployment really helps you out there a little bit.
I was surprised with no Grievous. I don't know if that was just about not having the card or something else.
It could be not having the card. It could just be that it doesn't fit into the strategy. He doesn't want to be aggressive with a 4/4. It could also be that he knows he's playing into Anakin, and Anakin lets everything trade up. So a 1-drop soldier, the 5/0 first with Anakin trades into Grievous. So it might just not have looked appealing.
Right.
Because just a reminder for everyone, these players knew the leaders they were going to be facing. They just didn't know the exact deck list or the color. So Dooku built the deck knowing he was going to be facing Anakin leader with the ability to trade up easily. Ambushing in, killing the 4/3, so protecting his Anakin flip turn.
But I mean, we have double Dooku happening this turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Dark has something like an overwhelming barrage, he could just flip Dooku now and then wait and just hold Anakin hostage. It looks like he's going to be exploiting something.
Yeah, bear 5-cost exploit, so that'll
5-drop.
be just one of the Sentinels.
Okay, the Sentinel battle tank.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's the B4 Legionnaire, and then there's the battle tank, a 4/5 and a 5/4, both available to Dooku.
Yeah, and I think they're both really solid, especially when you're trying to either protect your base or your leader.
And that's the Coruscant card, I think, which does not have ambush because there's no coordinate.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, boy, this does not feel like a great situation to be.
Anakin's really far behind right now. We've got to see what he can come up with. Dooku also has Dooku's stats are just really large. He's a 5/9.
Yep.
So a lot of what could be normal Anakin lines don't feel good into that. And he also only has 1 damage on his base, so Anakin cannot clear the Sentinel tank right now.
Right.
Unless he takes 5 from Dooku first, which is why Dooku is not attacking into the base.
Yeah.
So that's another really heads up play from Dark.
Yep. No, I agree with that. I'm not even sure he's going to deploy. I think he claimed.
Yeah.
He claimed. And then we have.
Oh, the Kraken has been released.
Is that Kraken or Kalani?
That is Kraken.
Yeah, that is Kraken.
So when played, make 2 battle droids, and then on attack, eat all tokens you control get +1/+1.
Yep. So he's in desperate times now.
Yeah.
So I mean, not much damage on either base.
No, but that really suits the Dooku player. I think that this Anakin deck wants to be aggressive and is also okay with having a lot of damage on his base and trying to race. And so Dark understands that and is just doing a really good job controlling the board and maintaining his advantage.
Anakin ship goes into the space arena.
Yeah, I like that. And the other thing about this Dooku deck is you can't just waste actions. As the Anakin player, you can't just waste actions and say, oh, I'll make him run through all of his options so that he has to spend his resources or claim, because you've got all these battle droids to attack with. You've got all kinds of basically time wasting that you can do to make the Anakin player act first.
Oh, and then I don't know. I guess Solo must have passed.
Yeah, I think he's trying to see if he can get his Anakin out without it just dying. But that's going to be a tall order.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing with these attacks, it means there might be something like an overwhelming barrage in hand that can kill Anakin as soon as it flips anyway. And so that's why he's not as concerned about just piling the damage on the base now.
Yeah, Anakin only has 7 health.
Yeah,
so.
7 health. So Dooku leader unit plus overwhelming barrage can kill him outright on flip.
Yep.
But even if he doesn't have it, the droid that he's holding up is currently a 2/2 because Kraken attacked.
Right.
So he had that up as well. So now if Anakin flips, he has to have the barrage.
Which
But I think if you're not making him have it, how do you win this game as Anakin? I don't know that you do. But it's tough.
yeah, I mean we're playing out the matches. I mean, in testing, this might have been a scoop by now. But
yeah, exactly. I think if this was a weeklies or just game one of any best of 3, you're probably given it up a while ago.
right. But I mean, it does make sense to try to take some damage, honestly, to have a bigger effect on your flip. And hope
Definitely, and also the damage makes the Anakin's interceptor attack for more too. So after the next attack with Kraken, the interceptor is going to be hitting for 4.
Yep, and the Confederate battle droid thingy, whatever that ship is called, the 2-1 makes a battle droid, does not have the ability to kill that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Without some kind of a buff.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he just goes to base here. Yeah.
It surprised me Solo goes to base right back.
Yeah, you might as well. You're not doing anything else with it. Even trying to just kill the ship doesn't help because he just makes another battle droid. So you don't gain anything in terms of trying to stop him from exploiting.
Yep, and now you have Gore active, I think.
Yeah, Gore's active. The battle droids are buffed as well. So we might just see, if he has something like a Gore, he might just start attacking with the droids to get them tapped so that they've already done their damage.
Oh, they're caught in the crossfire.
Caught in that crossfire.
The one of. That's what it is.
So so Dooku doesn't die from this, but he can kill the Sentinel and get Dooku down to 2 health left.
That's pretty dang good right now.
It's
Honestly.
really nice, yeah. And now Anakin flip is a little bit more back on now that he could potentially flip and attack into anything. He could overwhelm over Dooku.
So you got 6 health left, though.
Well, yeah, that's not a lot. I mean, I think at this point you've got to flip and make him have it, which he does. They always have the barrage.
Wow. We're on late game. Spoken like a true hero player right now. We've only had barrage, and then he gives the thing. So game 1 goes to Dark.
Game 1 goes to Dooku, and what I would say is a very impressive fashion. I don't think that Anakin did anything particularly wrong. I just think that Dark played very well, played around his lines, played around his ambushers, always having ambush with having a separatist unit around. I just think that was a very well played game by Dark.
Yeah, I think so too. And see what I mean about playing Dooku on 5 being addictive? I mean, that was...
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah, because... The only thing better than having a 5-4 for 5 is having him shielded and killing something when he comes in. That's great.
Is a 2-for-1 machine. It's not as good as Luke, but he's not he's not that far behind.
If Luke was a separatist, then that would be good for sure. If you could get Luke on 5.
If Luke Skywalker becomes a separatist, we got some things going on in the Star Wars universe that I don't understand.
Yeah, that'll be off of the next show that they have.
Don't give them ideas about more wacky things. But yeah, Luke goes back in time and joins the Separatist Rebellion.
Exactly.
Somehow, Luke returned back in time.
Somehow Luke returns.
Anyway.
All right. So, Anakin has initiative now. That could make a big difference, especially in terms of early exploit or what they play early game.
Yep. So, what are you thinking for the sideboard decisions here? I think I'm actually going to get a window here to look at some cards. Oh, do they have? I don't think they have sideboards.
Neither deck has a sideboard, so I don't think there are any decisions to be made. So that makes that easier.
Oh, that was great analysis.
Thank you. Well, I'm just trying to think of what Anakin could have if what would help, because it's really hard unless I'm misremembering cards. It can be hard in red green hero to deal with boards that go really wide.
Yeah, I mean, you have access to like bombing run. I mean, one I've been looking at is just grenade strike, which is
Grenade strike is one I would have liked to see in this list for sure. There is the I'm forgetting the name, but the 3 cost deal 2 to each ground unit. The Bloodsport, I think it is.
Bloodsport. Yep. You know, John Claude Van
Um,
Damme would be proud.
Exactly. That one could be good, but the problem is you also play a lot of small ground units, so it doesn't make it as appealing. I do think Grenade Strike would have been really good here, especially with the Anakin ability. If he plays a 4/5 Sentinel, for example, you could use Anakin ability to attack into it for 4, and then Grenade Strike, kill the Sentinel, kill a Battle Droid token. Something like that could be a big swing. But he doesn't have access to those. I do think that if decks like this Dooku deck become more popular, Bloodsport might be a lot more common. Bombing Run is just so expensive. 5 is a lot of resources to pay, and 3 feels a lot better, in my opinion.
I'm gonna do a card feature here. Just display Brugford. So there'll be just a moment of white screen for the viewer, but okay, then I can time that up. Alright, so this is one sport that you're talking about, and I'll be able to do some of these as they're played. There's some angles on solo things, but it's 3 cost, deal 2 damage to each ground unit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hide that for now. Alright, so match begins with, what is that, a Coruscant Guard in the ground arena for solo.
Yes, Coruscant Guard and another wartime official.
And that is a good start, I think, for Anakin.
Definitely. You get a free trade in here if you would like it. He can't kill your unit for free. Both of those things are really nice for Anakin. Not having the ambush doesn't really matter on turn 1. You're just fine playing a 3/2.
That's wartime trade official. 2-drop, 1/3, create a battle droid token.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and he does in fact take the trade. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think last game we saw him not really respecting the exploit as much. He had the bounty hunter's quarry and then didn't make the trades as easily. But I think this game he's going to be trading a little bit more probably
And he plays
to
a
try to
Magna
stop
card,
it from getting out of control.
which we identified as one of the key cards for Dooku here.
Yes, it's really nice. Can protect his guys. A 3/4 Sentinel, either when played or when his unit dies. So if he exploits something, then he all of a sudden has a Sentinel protecting the rest of his droids.
Dooku exploits a lot, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's already sitting there with 3 droid tokens ready to exploit.
Half of them
So
came from solo.
Yeah, there's the Jesse. So even if Solo attacks in and kills a droid token first, then Dark can still play the spider droid for 4 to ambush in as a 5/6.
Right.
So I think that we'll see what Dark has now that he's got all these new goodies, courtesy of Solo. But Jesse is a threat too. He's a 4/4 with raid 1, so he's got a he may be able to get some more damage on early with this play. We'll have to see how it goes.
And now the tables are turned a little bit with the Magna droid getting a trade and not dying, leaving himself with 1 health.
Yeah, yep, exactly, definitely.
I mean, and it would feel real good to play Grenade Strike right now.
Yeah, Grenade Strike or Bloodsport would be game turning right here for sure. You would just be able to clear multiple units off the board.
Okay, so he's gonna be able to ambush. Oh no, that's a Coruscant Guard. So
That's the 3/3 that can heal your base, I believe. The Coruscant Guard. I'm bad with with some of the names. Or no, Coruscant Guard is the one that has coordinate ambush.
yeah, I don't think it's that though.
I do not think it is either.
It's a hyperspace version of it.
Oh, that's the 501st Liberators. That's the name of the card. It's a 3/3 that heals your base if you have another Republic unit when played. And then Dooku gets to exploit out a Kraken. So huge numbers of battle droids, and they're going to be buffed. So this is another just tough looking situation. I would kind of like. I think you have to take out this Kraken.
Yeah, but he can't get around it right now. So Jesse has to attack into the Magna Guard first.
Does he? Well, it only has Sentinel if a unit's. Oh, because he exploited out the Kraken. Exactly. That's the interaction that we were talking about earlier. Since he exploited out the Kraken, he has to go through the Sentinel first. So just yeah, that card coming in clutch. Yeah, calculating Magna Guard, I think, is really impressive in this this Dooku list.
Yep, and he has an issue. It wouldn't surprise me here to see Kraken actually attack Jesse, because without Anakin's ability,
yeah,
he doesn't die.
Yeah, I agree. It gets all your droids buffed, even if the Kraken dies, which he doesn't die to the on attack, he would have to get attacked by another unit after that. So Kraken into Jesse feels really good for Dark right now. He could also just kill it right now with droids.
Oh, Solo claimed. But
yeah, so Solo claimed, and Dark finished off the Jesse and did one to base. So now Solo can still kill the Kraken with Anakin action on his 3/3 to deal 5 damage to the Kraken and not die back. That seems like the obvious play. Obviously, we don't know what is in anyone's hand. He has a lot of ambush in his deck, so he could just ambush something from hand. But I think killing Kraken before it attacks has got to be priority number 1 for Anakin.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he is, I think, at 5. They're both at 5. So.
Yeah, 5 resources. Oh, General's Blade. Interesting. So he does not kill Kraken.
Puts it on the.
He puts it on the 501st. So now he has a 6/6. It is not a Jedi unit. So the General's Blade.
All right, and I'm not sure what happened to Jeff's sound there.
Sorry, yeah, no, that was my headset. I'm here.
All right, very good. But
I was just saying that the General's Blade is just a vanilla 3/3 upgrade on this 501st, but that lets the Kraken get in with an attack. So now all the droids are pumped.
And the Kraken attacks into the Liberator.
Which makes sense because now the Liberator doesn't get a free trade onto any of the battle droids.
All right, so first damage to base.
And interesting. So he could have killed the Kraken there again with an Anakin activation and attacking soldier in. He does not seem to he does not seem to think the Kraken is a big threat.
I think he just did 4 or 2 damage to.
I think he did 2 to the unit since he threw away the droid. Yeah, okay. So he's working on taking down the 6/6, which makes sense because now if that kills Kraken, he could kill it again with the droid. But Solo again, not worried about the Kraken. This reads like he could be setting up a barrage.
Kind of an underwhelming barrage if it's cast right now.
I don't disagree, but I think it's kind of nice to keep the bigger units off the board for the flip turn.
He's actually setting up a Dooku.
Oh, setting up the Dooku. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So the old Nemesis is back. Let's see if Solo has a kit to respond to this time.
Yeah, this time he will have coordinate if he plays kit. So it will be a little bit. It will be a little bit more impressive than it would have been last game.
Yeah, I do think that the Dooku unit 7-drop really comes into its light now that we have the rest of the separatists here and his own.
I 100% agree. Definitely, I think in this deck specifically, he's looked very good.
It's a lot of good 7-drop strong units.
Definitely. I don't think Solo can afford to make the Wrecker play again. I think he has to be able to get out Anakin this turn. But we'll have to see how he can deal with his Dooku before he does.
Yeah, and it's a little bit close. I mean, he has 8-0 base advantage right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5.
And also now the Kraken is looking a lot less scary because there's no battle droid tokens that it's going to buff right now.
All right, and he plays the Sentinel guy.
Yes, so now he has a Sentinel, which that's the other way to help clear the path for Anakin's deploy. You're still not happy with overwhelming barrage, as that could clear it with Dooku.
And it's a lot stronger now that you have the Dooku out to do barrage for 7 as opposed to barrage for 4.
Yeah, I'm interested what Dark does now because you may want to just clear the Sentinel before the shield gets popped. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I think rightly so. Now I think we'll see one of the Liberators take out the Kraken.
Yeah, take out the Dooku.
Oh, take out the Dooku.
Yeah, because with Anakin action, they attack for 4. So once the Dooku shield gets popped, so I like that a lot. It's at face value, it might look like it's better sequencing to pop the shield and then play the Sentinel. But when you have Anakin action, it doesn't make much difference, and this doesn't leave the window for barrage as open.
Right.
So now it looks like we will get an Anakin deploy this turn without it dying. So things are already looking better for Anakin. We'll have to see how it goes from here.
Yeah, you can't exploit barrage. That's not a separatist card. So
Exactly.
Christophers.
It's not that good.
Which gives it exploit 5.
Okay, a Sentinel.
Yeah, and he can't.
Anakin once again less than 5 damage on his base, so only attacks for 4. So this 4/5 Sentinel has really been putting in work, and I think Dark has been actively trying to make sure that Solo is under 5 on his base for this interaction.
I think so too. But he does have a 5/0 first, so he'll run both of them into it.
He does, but it makes him throw away another unit, which is not nothing in his deck. He's trying to go wide and get damage on base. So,
and Anakin can't use his leader side ability when he's deployed.
Correct. So he can't trade up anymore while Anakin unit is out. Now I think Solo is trying to decide if he has something like a Wrecker to ECL in, then he might just claim here, not get the damage on his Anakin, and just clear the board. Because if he ECLs in a Wrecker, you can kill Kraken and the tank. I think Dark is worried about something like that as well. Doesn't attack with the Kraken and just claims. And now we have 1 overwhelmed to base.
Yeah, and that's only 4 damage on Anakin. So, I mean, he's not in.
Yeah, he can't kill Anakin without using a card from hand.
Right.
On his first action.
I mean, it may be worth it to barrage here.
I think so. With nothing on board, and you get to keep you get to kill Anakin and leave your Dooku flip free. I think if you have it, it's worth it.
Though Dooku's Wrecker bait himself, he can be insta-killed without killing Wrecker. That's all that's left on your board. Okay, so
yeah,
we have Dark from Maclunky Gaming on the play. He does an immediate deploy. That's a signal of barrage.
Interesting. Yeah.
Anakin attacks in for 4 to base.
I think Solo is recognizing that Anakin is not long for this world and just trying to get some damage in.
Certainly. He must be at 5 damage. I can't see Solo's counter very well, or at all actually.
Solo should be at 3 now. He should be at 5 damage. So Anakin should have only attacked for 4.
Yeah. Well, we'll match the markings on the players' boards. They haven't asked for any clarification.
Okay, so now here comes the barrage. I think I like this play when you're not that worried about damage on your base. You're not getting run down, so Dark let Solo play out another unit. He knew he was going to eat some damage to the base from Anakin for that, but it lets him also clear the next card he plays.
Yeah, getting value for the barrage. It's a 2-for-1
The
run.
punish would have been ECLing in a wrecker, but even then you could still barrage the you could still barrage the Kraken after that and kill Anakin.
And
So if that was the play, it doesn't change the damage on your base if he ECLs in a wrecker.
so I think Solo took 2 more damage to 7 there.
Exploiting out to play to remake the droid instantly.
Yeah, and that's tough, leaving 4 unspent resources on 7 there.
Yeah, your 6 resource turn with any Anakin deck is supposed to be that's supposed to be the big swing turn where you make your moves, and all he had was a 2-drop ship that died to barrage. It feels bad. We know he's playing 3 General's Blades. We haven't seen any of them yet.
Except for on the clone. I mean,
Well, sorry, yeah, we haven't seen them on Anakin. Like,
Right.
I think I've been playing a lot of Anakin. I think the key is to try to have a big flip turn. And yeah, we haven't been able to see Anakin get suited up with a General's Blade into, playing a 5-drop for 3.
let's see what he has now. CCL. It's gonna be Wrecker, I think. And I think that the
Yeah, you get to kill Dooku this way and get some damage on base, but you don't get to kill 2 things.
Yep. So that will be overwhelming onto 4 health, so 3 overwhelmed 16. Should be.
Yeah, it should be 3 to base. And now we're in the same spot where Dark gets to decide how he wants to kill the Wrecker. He could just attack a droid into it. He could honestly leave it for later and just attack base.
Yeah, he kills it with the droid.
Interesting. He technically overkilled the Wrecker because he had the Kraken buff.
I think.
Okay, this makes sense then. He didn't want to. Either way, he's left with 1 droid token after. But he could have gotten 1 more damage on base. I don't think it's gonna matter. If he had finished off Wrecker with the non-token unit, which makes a token,
Right.
then attacked base for 2 and sacked the token for malevolence. I think either way, all roads lead to Rome at this point.
All roads lead to Scoop City is what I think that is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I think Anakin concedes with having
Yes.
just hugely behind on board there. I mean, he had actually still up on damage when things changed, but I don't think that there was any reason to, go out. There wasn't that much left to be able to claw back in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go back to the deck list, and we'll start with Dooku. Now, seeing it in action, I mean, do you change your opinion as to who's favored? I mean, because I know you're pretty high on Dooku starting.
I don't think it changed my opinion. I think we never got to see Gore, or I don't think we saw a spider droid either. But they were threats that were looming and possible. Um, and I think, especially in open deck lists where you know what your opponent's playing, I think that the potential to have them makes your opponent have to think how many droids they want to trade into. I do think the calculating Magna Guard was very good. We saw it protect a lot of droids and take out units. Droid Commando was very good. It was just always a 4/3 ambush unit. Um, Overwhelming Barrage, surprise, still a good card.
Yeah, I mean that's not a surprise to anybody, about Barrage. But I mean, I think
Yeah.
that for people that don't have the Magna Guard and the Commando slotted right now, I mean, this might be something to reconsider because I mean, really,
Absolutely.
I want to say that those two cards, I mean, were the stars, and then the other one is, for the set one Dooku unit, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Set one Dooku, we saw him both games come out for 5, kill a unit, and have to be answered with multiple things. In game 1, it had to be answered by it delayed Anakin flip turn because he had to ECL a wrecker and destroy his own resource on 6. That was a huge cost. Anakin killed the Dooku, but it set him so far behind. And then game 2, I believe he had to throw 2 units into the Dooku. So yeah, it was the Dooku on 5 is very good.
Yep. And then, interestingly, I mean, I don't think Malevolence was the star of this show, though I think that that's a very good card for the.
I think it could have been. Malevolence versus Anakin in general can be very good because he can stop leaders from attacking. But Dark was able to stop Anakin from having any kind of value after flipping anyway through a really good strategy of controlling damage on Anakin's base and keeping the board under control with his exploit threats and overwhelming barrages ready.
Yep. And looking now at the Anakin list, I think it was unfortunate he never saw Kit Fistu. That was really the card that he needed both of those games.
There were multiple times where ECLing in Kit Fisto could have been good. I do think Wrecker is a little bit awkward when you have a 6 deploy leader. So maybe it should be 3 kits, 2 Wreckers. I don't know. I definitely wanted to see Kit, and there were multiple times where it would have been good. The same thing with Ayla, honestly, too. Being able to ambush in for 6 and not take any damage back would have been good in a lot of those spots.
For 5 even.
Whether it be he was hiding behind... there were multiple times where Dark was hiding behind Sentinels.
Yeah,
Ayla could have killed the 4/5.
I think the one time he got the bounty underscores off, I mean, it worked well, except that his hit was poor. I mean, he just got an Anakin interceptor as opposed to, I think you're looking for a Batch Brother there. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Jesse for this matchup either. I mean, it's really kind of playing into Dooku's game plan in a large way.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a liability. It's a big body. It can kill the 4/5 Sentinel. I like that about it, but it's just so risky when you don't have a way to clear the droids easily.
Right.
So I would like Jesse more in a deck where you're playing a lot of ways to kill small units, whether it's Grenade Strike, Blood Sport, something, just anything where you have a lot of small damage to throw around.
All right. So as we go into the standings after round 3. We have Maclunky changing things over and taking the lead with a 4 games won. Bothan Network is at 3, and Late Night, having now played a match, is at 0. So the next matchup we'll have Pom on Yoda versus Philip, I think Number Guy, on Palpatine. So check that out.
Oh, that'll be a good one. Yeah, I'm really excited to see that matchup.
Yeah, any thoughts on that matchup for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think everyone is underestimating Palpatine. I really like him a lot, and one of the things that I like about him the most is that you can go in a lot of different directions. I think you can make him into an aggressive deck where you use your card advantage and pings to play more small units out. I think you can go in a controlling direction where you use these card draws to say, I always have a 6/6 Childson, and then I give it a shield with Rey every turn. I think there's a lot of directions that all have legs with Palpatine. Yoda is the card selection that you get with Yoda is very good. That's something that we don't have a ton of in this game. And the fact that you get to draw and put something either on top or bottom, so you can either cheat things out with your My Only Hope very easily. You can cycle through your deck to find the cards you want. You can set up a flip turn. I think Yoda is also. I think these are two really good leaders that we're going to see playing each other.
Yep. So check that out tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, 8 Central. I guess 7 Mountain. Right. So, all right. Thanks for everybody for watching the round 3 of the show match, and we'll see you for the next one.
Thanks, guys. Bye.